We are starting with the intros of bachata music. Now, what is the introduction of bachata music? Do you freak out sometimes whenever the intro comes on because there's no bachata music?
Where's the beat? What do I do?
Is there no 1, 2, 3, 4? Don't worry, we're here to help you. So the first thing that you should know is that most sensual bachata songs, especially nowadays, and even modern, don't necessarily have a bachata beat in their intro. What do they have? They have slow, sensual instruments, sometimes strong instruments. Either way, you can use this moment to do about 5 different things. One of them being connecting. You cannot start a dance without connecting. First example, if you go into a song immediately getting your partner into the music, they will freak out, but so will you. You want to make sure that you feel your partner out. Not with your hands, with energy. Making sure you're both grounded, making sure you're both understanding of each other. Connection could be anywhere from open hand positioning, depending on how comfortable your follow is, closed positioning, and closed position. See? From here, you've connected. Make sure that your hands, your arms, your body is in place. How else can we connect besides just our physical body? You can breathe together. One example would be literally to breathe together. And down. If you're in closed position. If you're in open position, you can still breathe together. Swaying back and forth and breathing. Feel each other out first. The song has not started. You have time. Listen, no bachata.
Cada vez que tomo, pero dime qué es lo que voy a hacer para dejar de pensarte si te veo con él. Me mata el orgullo, siento que no fluyo, quiero estar al lado tuyo. Pierdo la fe, se me quita el hambre y pierdo la sed. Que tú tienes razones, pero no sé qué te dice, yo no sé. Si tienes el mismo ser, el amor se echó a perder. Pero yo no me puedo cansar de buscar la respuesta.
So, in order to connect to your partner, you both have to be present. I know that the previous dance you just saw, you could think, well, you're just standing there. But the reality is that there's so much happening in just that moment where, for example, Tam is following me. He has to be present and listening to me as a follow. And me, as a lead, although I am demanding the situation and I'm taking charge, I'm also listening to Tam. So here, for example, I notice that Tam needs to be connected to me in other ways as a follow. I fill in those gaps. I make sure that I have a good frame and I'm able to execute that for them. So even if it's just as simple as a breath or a weight shift, or a breath standing still, this actually connects us more than you think. Not to be a little philosophical here, but it does. Because now you're really trying to understand each other before you even get into the dance. And you help also engage the energy you want to start with. Let's start slow first, and then we can go up. The song builds up anyway. And if you're in really close position, it's easier. So here, the movement doesn't necessarily have to be so connected fully, like a hug. Here, you're a little bit more separated. But here, I, as a lead, get to tell and dictate my follow so that they understand where I want to be at the moment. And in this moment, it's just really us listening to each other. Again, swaying back and forth between weight shifts and breathing even. Where breathing will take you up, breathing will take you down. Again, these motions, whenever you're connecting, are more than just breathing together and reading each other's energy. Now you're also establishing what is up, what is down, your leveling, and your frame. As a beginner to intermediate, your frame probably still needs a little work, and that's completely okay. But these are the types of movements, these small, slow movements, these small bits of body control that you both can execute in that beginning and really listen to each other and listen to yourselves so that you can execute a beautiful intro without having to do a bunch of different fancy moves. And eventually, this will lead to you being able to do a bunch of fancy moves if you want. Yes?
We always start with this foundation. And also for both leads and follows, we're literally feeling each other out. As a follow, I'm noticing like, oh wow, Becky, how much force and resistance is she giving me versus the other previous leaders that I've danced with, other people that I've danced with. Some people give a lot more force or a lot more energy. Some people give very little resistance, a little tension. And sometimes that's all you need. And this first 10 seconds, 20 seconds is our time to just calibrate and basically see like who we are, where we're at. This is a new person, just like you wouldn't jump straight into a deep conversation with crazy things with a new person. You want to just have some small talk first, just get to know each other, and then later on, as the song progresses, you'll build up and build up.
And sometimes connections are instantaneous. So you can actually feel, oh, this person already feels like I can start something a little bit more. And as a follow and lead, you learn to engage with that. If you've only been dancing for 1 to 2 years, which I'm assuming most have because of the module that we're presenting to you, this is the fun part of learning. This is the fun part of progressing to that next level. You're not going to get to the next level unless you go through this phase first. Now, as the song continues, the intro is usually maybe not so long, but sometimes it could actually be very long. In the example of Esclavo de tus besos by Jory, the intro is actually quite hefty. So we have a lot of time to connect to our partner. Not only connect through weight shifts and breathing, we can do other things as well. One of those things are more subtle, sensual movements. What does that mean? I'm going to show you an example where you can do it in closed position so you can feel a little bit more comfortable. It's also a little bit easier for those that are still learning how to be a little bit more musical with their dance. It's going to feel easier because you're in closed position and don't have to do too much with your framework. Now you really just have to connect with your body. So, one example would be in closed position. Tam is going to be my lovely follow, where we connect. How do we connect always? Bend your knees, make sure that your pelvis isn't completely out, make sure that your hips are also in line, and your frame is the best that it can be at the moment. You're going to start with small, subtle central movements by, again, swaying back and forth, breathing, but you can add level, you can add body movements, and you can add head control. What would that look like? You can sway your partner back and forth. You can go up with your partner and they will understand that. As a preparation to go down, you can initiate a side-weight body roll with your partner and return it. While you go to the opposite side, you can ask them to go the other way and create a small body roll where you can actually interject and do a reverse body roll. From here, you can play with head motion. See, head motion could look like anything from a simple head roll going backward or a head roll going to the side. Kum, 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 kum. Yes, we're going to practice that with music now as Tam is my follow.
Sé que me pongo de intenso cada vez que tomo, pero dime qué es lo que voy a hacer para dejar de pensarte si te veo con él. Me mata el orgullo, siento que no fluyo, quiero estar al lado tuyo. Pierdo la fe, se me quita el hambre y pierdo la sed. Que tú tienes razones, pero no sé. Que te dices, yo no sé. Si tienes el mismo ser, el amor se echó a perder. Pero yo no me puedo cansar de buscar la respuesta. Sigo escribiéndote canciones como
And a gentle, quick reminder that in order to do these intros safely and to the best of your ability, do it to the level of your comfort. And also because you're connecting to the comfort and level of your partner. As a lead, it is my responsibility to understand más o menos a little bit what my follow is capable of doing. So if I begin to initiate body rolls, level changes, head movements, and they don't necessarily reciprocate so quickly, it's my responsibility to make sure that I can do something that they are comfortable with. But again, knowing how much you guys have been practicing and learning, I'm more than sure that you will be able to execute this very, very well. But just a reminder, make sure that you are understanding of your partner and yourself as well. Because sometimes as we're dancing, we do end up recognizing after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dances that our partners are not necessarily reading everything that we're doing as leads. And that's on us to understand, okay, what do I have to do to change that? And then you can start to execute those movements more smoothly. And when you start dancing with more people that understand it, you'll start to understand that your body finally is getting onto it a little bit more. And as a follow, same applies. Try not to do anything out of your comfort zone or anything that you think will harm you. Why? Because as follows, we are very fragile. And I want us to make sure that we're practicing safe dancing. Connected, beautiful, breathe, weight shift, body rolls, but to the best of your ability. Because if you start to do something very deep, low to the ground, or something very quick, where the head is very, very sensitive, yes,
Especially the neck. Yeah.
especially the neck, we want to be as safe as possible. Yeah.
And that's why we're giving you so many tools. We have the weight shift, we have the breath, we just have basic connecting. And then next, on top of that, is these small, subtle, sensual movements that you can incorporate. But it's up to you as the dancer to choose what is appropriate. Okay, switching roles here. Becky will be the follower for this example.
Yeah. Now, in these sensual movements, these subtle movements, there are times where my lead can be in an open position and swaying back and forth, walking and walking. Now here, if my follow wants to do something on their own and they have time, they can do things like styling without interrupting my lead. And that's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Being able to have fun while also listening to my partner. Intros are also about how you listen to the music, so I don't want anyone to feel like they're limited to anything. Now let's say Tam is swaying back and forth, just walking and walking and walking. I can follow with a body roll. I can do a little booty roll. I can isolate, 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 all on my own while still following my lead. And that way the follow gets to be able to showcase what they want to, especially when listening to the song, because sometimes we're all at different levels and we want to make sure that we're having fun, again, while we're still connected. So let's say Tam has me open, and let's switch positions here. Tam has me open. He's only holding one hand. I have so much freedom now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. He's walking, and then I can do a little body roll style, and he can watch, and then I can break off and do my own thing, yes? But again, safely, to the best of your ability, and without interrupting your lead. You want to make it fun.
And just a note for the leads, when I was a more inexperienced dancer, I would dance with these, talented follows, and they would be doing things on their own, and without me leading them, and I got really furious. I was like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. I'm the leader, you're the follower, that's the rule. But I quickly learned later on as I got more and more advanced that, hey, look, this is all about connection. It's all about dance. And I actually now celebrate and I shine the light whenever my follower wants to express herself. And I don't take it personally because we're just dancing. And sometimes I'll do that myself. And it's, it's more fun that way. And so I just want to make sure that you're not thinking, I'm not leading this thing. Why is she doing, her own thing? Like, this is not bachata. But in reality, this is all about connection. It's all about a conversation. And these little moments are what makes things fun.
Yeah, actually, I want to bring that point back. The connection is a part of understanding what each person is capable of doing. If one person is more dominant and has all that responsibility on them, the conversation is a little bit one-sided. And don't worry, don't get me wrong, the follow can definitely just follow and do their own thing and feel amazing. But sometimes we listen to the music differently, and that's where that connection in the beginning kind of chimes in. If you want to be musical, if you want to be able to dance to outros, we want you to be able to expect anything that comes at you. And there are so many different experiences that we all have as follows and leads. We're trying to keep it as much of a neutral ground as possible while also maintaining this freedom for both dancers so that they can both express themselves while being connected, while dancing together, while listening to the music together, because that's what's so beautiful about the dance. And now we're going to show an example.
Let's do it.
¿Qué es lo que voy a hacer para dejar de pensarte si te veo con él? Me mata el orgullo, siento que no fluyo, quiero estar al lado tuyo. Pierdo la fe, se me quita el hambre y pierdo la sed. Que tú tienes razones, pero no sé qué te hice, yo no sé. Si tienes el mismo ser, el amor se echó a perder. Pero yo no me puedo cansar de buscar la